What's up, everyone? Kevin Allen here, aka the Geek from DFS Army, and we're taking a look at UFC Fight Night London Blaydes versus Aspinall. We're going to go 3v3 on DraftKings with Big Marley, the big dog himself. We're each going to pick 3 players on DraftKings, 2 favorites and an underdog, and see how we do it. We do this every week. We're 4-4. Let's get into it. All right, Big Marley, you have tied it up 4-4 over the course of our doing of this show. So we're all evened up. And last week, man, later in the week, I got off of Sumadarji. But here are the picks from last week, and I kind of got double burned here. Ortega gets hurt. I still think Ortega was going to win that. Like, I still would pick Ortega, but my guy got hurt. What are you going to do? Shoulder.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen it play out. Hopefully we'll get a rematch one day. But I knew it was going to be an all-in fight, even though it was a shitty outcome. It still works on DraftKings, so I'm glad I had the Yair side.
I will tell you, though, it does not feel good to win my massive underdog play with Li Jingliang and not actually win the week. I thought I had it in the bag. I really did. But like I said, later in the week, I would have gotten off of Sumadarji as I kind of was convinced on Schnell by our own Vince. So that was unfortunate. A little early in the week. But we are now 4-4 in the 3v3. And Big Marley, it is your turn to choose. So we're taking a look at UFC London Aspinall versus Blaydes. And we were just talking off air about how great a card this just seems from top to bottom. I'm excited to watch this one. This feels like a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it really does. The last time the card was in London, it was crazy. The fans really brought it. The fights were insane. And I mean, you got Patty on this card again, Aspinall, Meatball. So the crowd's going to be there again. I can't wait. Got an 11 a.m. Eastern start, which I'm cool with again. I mean, it was kind of nice last week, and I wasn't really looking forward to the early start, but afterwards I was kind of glad it was early. So another one of those, and I'm just excited for this card all around.
It's summertime, having a Saturday night, kind of not watching UFC, but rather, doing something else. It felt a little weird, felt a little different, but, it felt good. I got out of the house a little bit, took a walk, took the wife out for a nice dinner, little date night.
Nice.
It was great.
Use some celebration money this week and do it again.
Yeah, well, after cashing that plus 800 bet on Schnell by submission, dinner was covered. Let's just put it that way. We crushed the slate. Last week, by the way, my bets were killing it. But the last bet was on Ortega. And I'm like, man, this is going to go from up like 4 units to up massive, right? When Ortega wins this. And Ortega didn't win.
Yeah. Weird ending.
Yeah, that just sucked. It wasn't fun. But I loved what he did. Again, I don't want to focus on it, but the guy was going for takedowns. Like, it was exactly what you wanted to see. I'm like, yeah, Ortega going for a takedown. Let's do this. Right? I was like, we're going to win this fight. I was so confident.
Yeah, I wasn't that confident. I was pretty split. I ended up pretty 50-50 on DraftKings. And then it turned out like I needed Yair more than I needed Ortega at that point. So I was like, screw it, let's go Yair.
Yeah, no, I definitely needed Ortega. I had the nuts position in the captain. It was rough. It was rough. But we continue. So, Big Marley, you're up first. We're going to pick 3 DraftKings plays, 2 favorites and an underdog in a snake style format. And we're going to see who takes it. This one is for the lead. So at 4-4, this is a very, very important week. So you're up first this week. It's rough. You're defending home field. Who you got?
I'm going to go. So there's so many favorites I'm okay with this week. I'm going to go with a high ceiling underdog, big boom bust play, not a safe guy you want in cash games, but I'll take Paul Craig. I think he's live for a submission in any matchup. I've never been super high on Ozdemir, but I do think it's a knockout from Ozdemir or a submission from Craig in this fight. Aside from, like Blaydes, I feel like Craig has one of the highest ceilings as the underdogs. So I'll take Paul Craig as my first pick.
I like the pick, and I like that you went underdog first. because I think the favorites are really hard to choose from this week. Every favorite looks really good. Makayev, sure. Wood, okay. Molly Meatball, sure. Mason Jones, yeah. Mark DeCasey, yeah. Like, they're all good. Patty Pimblett, sure.
Yeah.
I like them all.
So many.
Not Dalby. Fuck that guy. But, Krylov, yeah, I'll take him too. So, I'm going to cheese ball it with the first pick, and I'm just going to go Muhammad Makayev. I'm just going to cheese it.
Yeah, it's probably where I would have went too.
Yeah. Listen, is it cheesing it? Yes. But I don't care. Every one of these favorites, though, is really live. And if we were trying to construct a lineup that you could actually create this week, I would have to go with one of the cheaper guys in order to make it work. But I love these guys, too. Again, this whole section is fantastic.
Yeah, man, it's going to be tough to choose from the favorites this week.
Well, you're up on your favorite. I'm just going to wait till my last pick to take the underdog, because now I can do that. But I want to go over who I think are live underdogs. So we'll kind of cover a bunch of those.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go, since I went GPP on my first one, I'm going to go with the safer play on this one. My most confident pick on the card, Nathaniel Wood. I think he's just going to beat the hell out of Rosa in this matchup. I think he can win the fight anywhere. The only way I see Rosa getting a win would be like an ankle or leg lock, something like that. Maybe, a submission from bottom, a triangle, but I just don't think that's going to be the case. I like Wood everywhere in this matchup. I think he has a high ceiling, high floor. So I'm going to go with Nathaniel Wood as my first favorite. And then there's plenty others I could choose from. So I really don't even care who you take.
Yeah, I mean, I like so many of these guys. I'm going to try to look for who might actually score the best / doesn't have much chance of losing their fight. There's a lot of reasonable choices here. You know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going with Patty the Batty. And the reason I'm picking Pimblett is because Levitt is so bad on his feet. And I think they might actually negate each other in the wrestling. So I don't think Levitt is necessarily going to be the better grappler. But when I've seen these grapplers that literally have no striking, they go up against a fellow grappler, it just gets ugly, especially if the other grappler chooses, is better or just as good at the grappling, can negate it. So I'm going with Patty. I think the UFC is not about having Patty lose in London. I think this was a setup fight. I think the smartest people at the matchmakers specifically custom chose the opponent for Pat Pimblett here for good reason. So I'm going with Patty the Batty. But again, I like them all. I like all these favorites, all of them.
Yeah, I like Patty a lot this week. Just a hand-picked matchup for him to look good in London. I don't see Levitt having a lot of success in this matchup. I'm kind of on the side that I would like to fade Pimblett eventually as well, but I don't think this is the matchup for it. So I'll be high on Patty as well.
I'll fade Patty against the striker that can stop a takedown.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be like
a lot of the top of the division. I think I'll take against them.
Yeah, I mean, but just think about even a mediocre striker that can stop it. Think of Vince Morales. Yeah, for real, that kind of guy. I think that's a guy, or who's the leg kicker who beat Morales?
Gutierrez.
That kind of guy. That style of fighter is probably going to beat Patty Pimblett down the road. He's just got to be able to stop a takedown and be a decent striker. The problem here is Levitt cannot strike to save his life, and yeah, he'll be going for takedown. I don't think his takedowns are that good. I think it'll be Patty getting the takedowns here.
Yeah, I agree. All right, for my last pick, I'm gonna go safer again. I think there's a lot of higher ceilings on this card, but I like Mark Diakisi to get the win here. Another guy who I think just has the edge anywhere the fight goes. And he landed 11 takedowns in his last fight. That's a clear path to victory here against Hadzovic, who doesn't really have takedown defense or anything to offer off his back. So I like Diakisi. And on underdog, there's a pick 'em for Diakisi 2 or more or over 2 takedowns. I went with that as well. So
I lock that in. There's a Makayev 2.5. There's a bunch of interesting takedown. Actually, I looked on Prize Picks, but underdog too.
Yeah, underdog has some Makayev as well.
Yeah, got to take a look at some of these. The key on both underdog and prize picks, whatever. It's kind of figuring out fights that aren't going to end fast, because what kills your 2 takedowns prop, because you need the third one to actually win that prop. What kills it is, he just finishes it after the first one. So you got to look for the fights that.
Yes, so I'm more nervous about the Makayev one than I am the Diakisi one, because I think Makayev could get one takedown and then just submit the guy, where I don't think that's the case with Diakisi. I think he's more likely to go 3 rounds, land multiple takedowns.
Yeah. Oh, I like that thought process. Let me ask you a question on that. Do you play much? You don't play prize picks. You play on underdog?
Yeah, I don't think prize picks is legal in Indiana. Last I checked anyways. Yeah, so underdog only for me.
I want to throw this out there. I've been wondering if people rather do 2 props or 3, because there's a different there's a scoring difference on prize picks where they have this game format. People seem to like it, but I don't like it, where if you get one wrong, you have to get 3 right to double your money back, basically. But if you get one wrong, you get your original bet back. And I don't know. I just feel like it's not a good deal. And I'm trying to figure out if anybody else thinks that that's a good, like if people are playing that, because I like the straight 2 picks. So let me just get 2 right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, it depends on how much of an edge I see. It usually there's only like 2 plays that I feel really good about, so I will go 2 and I'll hammer it a little heavier. But this week I might have 3 in my biggest play, just because I think that one of them was Ozdemir. It was like under 42.5 strikes. Like Paul Craig hasn't been hit 42 times in the last like 5 years, I feel like. He probably doesn't need to hit him 42 times to knock him out. But at the same time, if Craig wins, it's probably going to be an early submission where he doesn't get the 42. So I felt good about that one. And I think the Diakisi is on there as well. And then there was one other that I felt good about that I don't remember at all anymore. But yeah, I feel like it's a good week for underdog. Like, I just love this card all around. DraftKings, betting, underdog, all of it.
Nice. I love it. Can't wait to break the full card down with you. All right. So for my last pick, I am going safety there. So I just want to talk about live dogs here for a second and just kind of run through it. There are a bunch of live dogs, but none that I feel super confident in down here. I'd say Ludovic Klein is somewhat live. Long shot. Even Charles Johnson, extreme long shot. But like real live dogs. Makwan, hell yeah. Right? That dude could win that fight. Claudio Silva, sure. He could win that fight. Kyle Nelson could get a knockout, but a little less live for me. Ludovic Klein, I think, is a little bit live as well. But, and of course, Curtis Blaydes, an underdog. But I'm going to go even a little safer. I like Blaydes. I like him. And I would have taken him if you took my other pick, but I'm going to go Victoria Leonardo here for the floor plus the upside. I think Blaydes could actually be wiped out. Blaydes could win that fight and score amazing, or he could be wiped out really quickly. I think that fight's going to be interesting. I do think Blaydes is a great cash game play, but I think Victoria Leonardo going up against, I don't really it's basically 50-50 odds. She's got takedowns. Not that we've seen them, I guess, in the UFC so far, but she has the ability to get takedowns. She has wrestling. She just fought like much, much better fighters in her first 2 fights. And I think that, Gatto and Fierro, these are 2 serious prospects, like real serious prospects that she lost to. Her opponent here, Bohm, no, that's not a prospect at all. That's just a scrub. So I'm going Victoria Leonardo to get the cheesy, greasy win with my underdog pick. And basically, the way this sets up, if Craig gets the W, he's probably going to outscore.
Craig,
yeah, this is coming down to Paul Craig, because if he gets that submission W, it's going to be hard for Leonardo and her 70-point decision that's coming, split decision judges win to pass him. But if Craig doesn't get that submission,
you probably got even 30 points and a loss from Leonardo too, which I won't have from Craig. So yeah,
Leonardo Craig. She can't really score less than 25, 35 fantasy points here, even in a loss. So, and I think she gets takedowns against Bohm, and there's just a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit of upside there. It's one of those spots where I really like loading up on a Leonardo in tournaments because no one will.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I picked her.
Yeah, you picked it. Nice. I love that. So that's going to do it, guys. Now, remember to put your 3v3s in the comment section. I read them every week. I check them out. So who do you like? 2 favorites and an underdog. put it in the comments section below. We have to remember to read them, or we'll call them out if anybody's got a winner next week. And Marley and I will be back for the full card kill shot breakdown for DFS Army members tomorrow, or maybe later today, depending on Big Marley, the big dog. So I'm ready to rock.
Yeah, I think I'll be ready.
There we go. I like the sound of that. So we'll be back later, guys. Good luck this week on DraftKings. Of course, we will be hanging out in DFS Army Discord as always, talking fights, talking kill shots, talking all that good stuff. Last week, DFS Army, by the way, DFS Army absolutely destroyed that slate. And I got to throw credit out to Vince and just pumping Schnell big, in the Discord. He
the week after he pumped up Kakramanov.
Yeah, Kakramanov too. Yeah, like a couple of really
on fire.
Who was pumping Kakramanov? I know.
Vince.
Vince also.
That was a kill shot. Yeah, so it was Kakramanov.
No, the kill shot
2 weeks ago, and then it was Schnell last week.
That's right. Oh, the kill shots have been crushing it. Absolutely. So you gotta credit it. I had 40% Schnell in my lineups, and when the slate started and it was only 12% owned, I was like, oh my god, the leverage. And we saw it too. Like DFS Army was like first and second place in the $5 contest. Unfortunately, those guys didn't.
I think it was a $3 contest.
Oh, it was at the 3. Yeah, in the 3, those scores were good for 100K.
Yeah, the first one was
solo. Yeah, it was good for a solo 100K. That lineup was a little bit tricky to achieve on the Dom station, but I achieved it just by the slightest adjustment. I had just a little bit too much of who was my kill shot that failed?
I was really struggling to remember last week before we even got on.
It was the old guy who just looked terrible. Oh, Burns, Herbie Burns. Yeah, that like I had just a little too much Burns, but Burns almost did it. Burns almost did what we thought.
Damn near scored 100 points.
Yeah, he almost did it. It could have been a 120 because that was all within the first 20 seconds of the fight. But like, oh my god, to see a guy go from like that position to I'm exhausted and I can't move, what an embarrassment.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Then Gilbert carrying him out like a baby. That was just what the fuck.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see Herbert again.
I hope we do. I really hope we do. I feel like on this card, the Herbert comparison is Mr. Gustafson. What are you doing back here? By the way, can I switch a pick to Krylov? Because, oh my God.
We'll talk about it on the kill shot.
All right, we'll talk about it on the kill shot. All right, good luck, everybody. We'll see you on the kill shot, and we'll see you at the top of the leaderboards. Deuces.